Is ready?
Yep.
Okay, we'll go ahead and rock and roll. Running backs coach and run game coordinator, Coach Norval McKenzie. Questions? Coach Kelly?
You have quite a bit of your room back this year, and you have Adam Malachi, but just and JP obviously as a early enrollee, but just how has it been having some continuity there and some guys to teach the younger guys and make that adjustment?
Yeah, I would say it's been really well, man. So like you alluded to, got a ton of guys in the room, have a lot of guys back. And so starting off with Jamal, he's done a great job so far in becoming a leader. And I feel like he's always been one by example, but being a little bit more vocal. And then for him, watching more film, asking more questions, which is really, really good. And then you go to Maddox, who played some last year, ended up being red-shirted, but was able to go in the VMI game and the Louisville game and have some success. So excited about him being back. Anthony Carey, who we call Scooter, sorry. You know, he's back. Going on the year 2 for him and had some snaps last year. And then, as you mentioned, we got Malachi, who's played a ton of snaps at Penn. And then we also have JP, who's a high school kid that's an early enrollee, in addition to DG, Dalen Gordon. So right now, collectively, we have a lot of guys that we're excited about. We have a lot of continuity in that room, as you mentioned. And then we feel like we have some experience because last year almost everybody had to play, right? And so because of that, those guys were able to gain some experience, which always is really good for us.
Rob.
Scooter was one of the guys that probably made it through the year less injured than the rest of them, if you want to put it that way.
Uh-huh.
What does he have to do to get more reps?
Well, I think for all these guys right now, they just got to continue to compete, okay? They just got to earn it, right? So we talk about all the time, man, like when your number's called, you got to be productive, all right? And what that looks like is in the passing game, maybe catching the ball and being productive and being explosive there. In the run game, same thing. We call it an explosive run, a 12-yard run. And so offensively, our philosophy is to be explosive. We want to get our playmakers in space. And so it's just one of those things that he just got to continue to earn it, own his reps, and make things happen in space, which I think he can and I think he will. You know, so far up to this point, he's doing a really, really good job. He worked extremely hard this offseason in the winter conditioning segment of it, and then that's going to transfer over to spring ball.
Can you tell us a little bit about JP and Shane and what you saw on film to recruit those guys?
Yeah, so JP is currently here. He's a kid that's roughly 5'10", 195 pounds. Ran a 10.5 and 100 in high school. So, you know, when recruiting him, we just saw his explosiveness. Probably, to be honest with you, one of the most violent kids I watched in person. You know, was really impressed with him. He played safety. He played running back. He was a kickoff returner. I mean, he did it all, right? And so he did it all at a high level. And so that was just something that stood out to me. And getting to know him and his support system just was over the top and was great. When you looked at Shane is a bigger stature kid, more compact, but also a kid that's gifted and who can run as well. I think he was around a 10.9 and 100. So, you know, I mentioned these 100 times because speed is important to us. Being explosive is important to us. And so what I saw from him is, truthfully, just a big every down back. You know, I think he can catch it well out the backfield. I thought he did a good job between the tackles and what they did in their offensive scheme. And so really excited about him joining us this summer. I think with those two kids, we improved our room.
Coach, just from watching you at practice, you're very active, moving around a lot, bring a lot of energy. Where does that kind of come from you? And also, what is it like working with Coach Bo as he's now joined the staff?
Yeah, I would say the energy portion is you just got to have passion for the game, right? Like, you can't have passion, not have passion and play football. And so what I try to do is instill that in my guys. I get a chance to work in college athletics, right? And so I get to pour into young people, and so I'm very passionate about that. So me running around with the excitement I have is just really pouring into young people. I feel like that's my calling. And in addition to that, now we got Coach Bohannon, as you mentioned. Been great to have him in the room. A gentleman that's been a head coach. He's coached multiple positions, has some wisdom, as you would say. But he's been an asset so far. He may see something that I don't see. I always ask him, hey, could I have communicated that better? How did you feel that meeting went? And so it's great to have him in the room to continue to develop and grow as a coach and as a person as well.
When we talked to Coach Faulkner, he mentioned that Maddox is a different kind of option that you may not have had before. Can you go a little deeper into that?
Yeah, I would say when you think about Traylon, what Coach Faulkner is probably mentioning is his size, right? So he has a great combination of size and speed. And so he's a kid that's around 6'1", 215 pounds, and can run. And so we haven't truly had that since we've been here. We've had smaller guys. No discredit to those guys, but I think he brings a bigger presence with a good combination of speed. He's also a kid that learns well. He asks questions. He's always first to meetings. He's always first in the line to rep the drills. And so I think he's going to continue to come along as well and be a great addition to the room.
Kelly?
Jamal got hurt, I think, from the jump in camp last year, and then was just banged up throughout the year with different things.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look at using him, protecting him maybe a little bit from that, and kind of what are your expectations as he enters his third year as a running back? Because people forget he made that transition from being a receiver here early on.
Right. So, injuries is part of the game, so you never can control that. And like you mentioned, he was hurt from day one, and we tried to manage it all season. I think how we manage it this year is by having a collective group of guys that we have, and maybe not take away from Jamal, but he probably played too many snaps last year. He didn't need to play as many snaps as he did in some games, but that was a comfort level just because the talent I feel like he is. Moving forward, we got a group of guys who are competing right now to kind of get in the mix and be a part of what we want to have this fall. And so I think how I manage him is by bringing other guys along where we can have a couple 1-2, 3 punches, so to speak, as we progress. Remind me of the last thing you asked?
Transition.
Transition.
Yeah.
The transition to what? From running back to receiver. I got you. So, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. All right, so in terms of his transition, I felt like he did a really good job transitioning to from wide receiver to running back. I think he's better now as a running back in terms of understanding where he fits in protection. He's always been a good statured kid, low and compact, so he does a great job running behind his pads. Really good in space, which he was able to be at the wide receiver position. So I think the combination of him being an unbelievable receiver mixed with the running back now, he's a guy who can be an every down back for us and create mismatches in the pass game as well as the run game.
Coach McKenzie, thank you.
All right, thank you, guys. Sorry, man, I drew a blank on your question.
I blanked too.
Yeah, all good. Appreciate